Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Spitler with All Designs Equine, and today we're going to be making a different kind of a carrot wreath. This one, instead of having wood flowers, is going to have artificial flowers. I'm going to show you a trick that I use to get the artificial flowers to stick to the carrot wreath instead of putting styrofoam on it. I do use styrofoam, but then I won't have to cover the whole thing in styrofoam. So I just use pine, and then I staple the pine to the wood. I'm going to add styrofoam in a few different places in a line. Down the center, put a lot of glue on it, and then I'm going to weight it down and wait until it sets. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this to actually glue down really nice and firm, I'm going to talk about these beautiful flowers that I'm going to be using. I like to use very citrusy colored flowers, anywhere between like bright orange, peach, and then even some like pinky colors. And even though this is a carrot and it's a vegetable, I like the citrus look. So even some of these tulips will have a little bit of yellow. So I'm going to use a very wide variety of colors for my carrot wreath. This carrot wreath was so popular when I first introduced it like 3 years ago that I had more than 500,000 viewers on Pinterest. So this was huge for me and I absolutely love it. My wood carrot wreath, which I did a few weeks ago, is also extremely popular and might even be more popular than this one, but this one happens to be actually my favorite. Also, while we're waiting, I'm going to trim away some of these crazy pine pieces that will be sticking out, and we don't want that. You don't have to do this method. I just find it to be a little bit easier, and if you want to cover your entire carrot with styrofoam, you can certainly do that. Styrofoam is extremely expensive, and that would be, a good option as well. But this gives me a little bit extra where I can actually add the flowers very full all over the wreath. Another reason that I add the styrofoam in the middle is it will give it a mounded shape, like almost like the carrot has been cut in half. It gives it a lot more dimension, so it's a lot more interesting. So I'm going to use the bigger center flowers in the middle because once again, I want to have that like dome shape to give it a real 3D effect. And there is really no like right or wrong way to put this on, but at the same time I do like my center flowers to be the bigger flowers. But this is hard to mess up basically because you're just adding different colors, and sometimes I will end up saying I don't like this here, and I will rip it out and I will change it, but I will just keep playing with it and kind of figure out where I want what. So, and then hopefully it turns out okay. And if it doesn't, I just pull it out and I rearrange things. But this takes an immense amount of flowers. So the carrot itself is like 22 inches, and then it gets a top on the top of it. So altogether it comes out to almost 3 feet. So it's quite impressive, I will say that. And a lot of people do just the tulip wreath, but I kind of find that to be boring. And also Michael's doesn't have the tulips this year. So even if you wanted to do just a tulip wreath, I think they're doing their own carrot wreath, which is not very pretty. So this is way nicer by far. And so I call it kind of like a mixed bouquet wreath. It's always nice when your glue gun glues to your paper. It's always fun. So, and I have this little cute Easter basket where I'm having all my flowers. Okay, due to the fact that I was gluing the paper to the glue gun, I got one of my cutting boards. So this is, I sell lots of different cutting boards and I do the design on the cutting board. So there's something else that I do. But anyway, so we're going to just continue to add the flowers. And if they stick out too much, then you can just cut some of them off and actually just glue them to the tip. This carrot is so big that it's hard to even see. I'll try to make sure you guys can see it. Okay. And then a little one down there. And I take the smaller tulips and flowers and I put it toward the tip, and the shape of the tulip is nice because it makes a little nice point down here, which is what we need. So a lot of times I'll just rip the tulips off. I might use a different color tulip if I can find it. I have a lot of different color tulips that I actually bought from last year. So I do have those. These are from Joann Fabrics, which I think are really nice. I actually like them better. But you don't have to use tulips. The only reason people like tulips also is just because they're very springy. And a lot of times they go well with the shape of the carrot. Okay, so I'm going to keep adding the flowers. I always try to do the biggest ones first, and then I'll fill in at the end with a lot of little flowers. And that's what actually makes it the prettiest, I think. These are some bright orange roses. These are from Hobby Lobby. This is from Hobby Lobby. This is from Michaels. This is from Michaels. These are from Joann Fabrics. So I did have to go to a lot of different stores this year in particular to get a nice selection. But because, as I said, this is like a bunch of different flowers, there's no, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. The reason it really is so pretty is because there's so many different colors of flowers and so many different shapes of flowers. And these, you know, these are smaller, these are bigger, these are pink, these are peach. It's a beautiful little rainbow of just all within the carrot. Okay, you can see this takes quite a bit of time too, to like fill in everything. And even though I'm putting a whole bunch of orange roses in here to fill it up, I'm going to go back through and use some of the citrus colored flowers, the small flowers, to break up everything. You'll see me do that in just a second. Hoping you can see this. It's like so big too. It's actually pretty ginormous. Okay, so I'm using these little citrusy dudes and I'm going to pull them off and I'm going to kind of just glue them right on top. And this will break up, like there's so much orange right here. We'll break that up. Do a little bit here and then I'm just going to go through and sprinkle some of these little smaller flowers on top of the bigger flowers. I'm just going to pull them right off the stem. And I'm going to keep working. Try to figure out if there's any holes. There's always a million holes that you have to fill. But this will at least give you a good idea of what I have to do to get it to look pretty good. Now this is sticking out. I'm just gonna pull this off and glue this right back in here. And then I'm gonna add a couple more. And I will, before I finish it, I always go and I hang it and I really look at it and make sure everything looks even, and I lift it up and just see. There will be some spots that need help. So I'm going to put that guy there, or maybe right here, or maybe right here. That one, I think it needs to go there. So we'll just put it even right on top. It doesn't even matter, just put it in there so that there's a lot of peach right here, so I need to break that up a little bit. And then just try to keep it looking a little bit more interesting. You don't want it too pink though. Okay, and there will be some areas that are too flat, like right here is too flat, and I will fix that, but it's hard to do it laying flat, but I will hang it and then check it out later. And this one's sticking out too much, so I'm just gonna pop this off and re-glue it back in and push it back in. And I have to do that like a million times. It takes forever to keep going through and keep fixing, Like over here is too flat, there's some holes here, there's some holes here. But you get the idea of how I just will keep filling this in. Then I'm going to do the green top on this. And I'm going to use different greenery. You can use what you like. I'll use some of this kind of pretty lacy looking greenery, some fern like this. This is actually a garland that I cut apart. And then I'm going to use this other really good stuff. This is from Michael's. That's really good for a carrot top. So I'm gonna add a whole bunch of different greenery to it. Okay, unfortunately, since this wreath is so huge, it's hard to show the whole entire thing. So I'm going to kind of bring it here to show you the carrot top. Now I had put a wire through the back of this carrot. You can also buy the blank carrot forms in my shop, and I will link that below. So we're going to use the different kind of greenery. So I like to have some of this that almost like droops off the carrot, and then some will be sticking straight up. So I'm going to push this in here, but this is going to be kind of hanging over. And we'll use the styrofoam. And this I'll do on the other side, so we have it kind of even. Styrofoam. And let that kind of, when I lift it up, it's going to kind of lay like that. And then we'll take some of this lacy stuff and add it in the front. I like to use, as we all know, I like to use lots of different kinds of greenery, so it's not boring looking and it's more natural looking. And I'm going to I cut it apart so I can put it in the way I like it. And then I'm going to actually put this in next, and I'm going to fan it out. This is another kind of a fern. These are all different kinds of ferns. Make this a little shorter. Okay. Right. See this crazy carrot top. Once again, once I lift it up, I'll be able to see what I need to do, because you do want you want this all draping over, but you do want the middle to be the highest point. So I'll probably need some more fern that's a little bit longer and taller. But you just keep adding it. And then I'm going to add a bow, which I already have made. Put some more. My bag's just fucking some stress, I think. This tall piece in here. And then I'm going to put this bow here. I'm going to put it a little bit lower. And sometimes I do have another wreath that I actually add a whole bunch of flowers to the top. So it's really literally, when we say carrot top, it is over the top with not only the greenery, but long flowers. And it's very pretty. It is really springy looking. And I use when I do that, I do the purples, I do some orange, but I do purple and white because purple is very Eastery. Okay. So maybe just put another piece in here. And I will go and fix it up a little bit. But this is my really popular carrot wreath that was on Pinterest, and it did super well. People shared it everywhere because it is pretty beautiful. It's a little bit extra. But there you go. I don't know if you can see it. It's so huge. It takes up your entire door. All right, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I would love to hear some of your feedback. Did you like the mistakes video I did? Did that help you at all with your decorating, your wreath decorating? Did that help anybody figure out some of their own mistakes? I would love to hear about that. So I will link where you can actually buy this wreath completely done in my shop, and I will link where you can buy the blank, where you can make your own. All right, everyone, until next time, I believe my next video is going to be this beautiful succulent wreath, lasso wreath that has on top of a Western saddle, which is really beautiful. I really love that one. And then I might be doing yet another carrot wreath after that. We shall see. All right, everyone, until next time, talk to you later.